Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at how to choose and create a skirmish for weekend warriors. Creating a skirmish is a great part of the game, and I really enjoy coming up with the stories and ideas and then putting them together into a format that we can play out together. And so in this video we're going to go through the creation process, showing you how to create a skirmish, and we'll also take a look at the battlefield maps, and then also look at objectives and terrain. In Weekend Warriors, a skirmish is the term for a mission or quest that lays out all the information you need to do battle in a specific scenario. It's up to you how you name your skirmish. I like to use the term quest for a fantasy game or mission when playing a sci-fi or modern game. When deciding on a skirmish to play, you can choose from the quests and missions that are included in the book, and also from the monthly quests and missions that I publish separately. But I definitely encourage you to have a go at creating your own quests and missions and provide you with a template to do so in the book. And that's exactly what we're going to go through in this video. Creating a skirmish is great fun, and you can use the template that's included in the book to make up any adventure you can imagine. And this can be for any genre too, so it could be zombie apocalypse, sci-fi, fantasy, pirate, anything at all. I recommend keeping it really simple. Just build a framework around an idea and then let the players use their imaginations to fill in the gaps. Let's go through the creation process now, and there are 6 steps that we need to follow to create a skirmish. The first step is to give our skirmish a name, and for this example we're going to keep it nice and simple, and we're going to call it Treasure Hoard. So we just write in Treasure Hoard at the top, but you can use any name you like. It can be serious, funny, whimsical, or it can tell the players exactly what the quest or mission is all about. In step 2, we write a brief, and the brief should be just that. Use the small area to describe why the warbands are going to do battle, and include a brief history if you want to, and also outline the tasks and goals the warbands need to carry out. And again, keep it simple. A brief outline is all you need, and the story will unfold once the players start to do battle. For this example, a treasure hoard was found by a peasant farmer, and a rival warband have heard about it. They've arrived at the farm, determined to take the wealth for themselves. Protect the farmer and you can take a share of his gold. The attackers might pass the treasure from one warrior to another, so make sure you chase the right ones. The attacking player can pass the treasure between warriors if they come into base contact, and they have to tell the other player if they do. And each player chooses 3 warriors for their warband. And that's it, nice and simple. Literally that first paragraph is the story, and then just a little bit of extra information that's going to help with gameplay. In step 3, we explain any special rules, and there may be some special rules that players have to adhere to or carry out during the skirmish, and so we note that down in this section. They may need to place objectives or set up the warbands in a certain way. And you can see in our example here that one player chooses to be the attacker and one player chooses to be the defender. And then it tells us that the defender places 1 token or object to represent the treasure in the centre of the battlefield. Then the defender places an agreed number of terrain pieces, however they like, to resemble the farm. And then a little bit of extra information tells us that a pickup will cost 1 action. I try and keep the rules really simple, but it does depend on the age group you're playing with. So if you're playing with children who are a little bit older, you could be a bit more complicated. You could introduce new rules that they haven't come across yet, or even rules that are part of a campaign. So this is really up to you how detailed, difficult, or simple you make the rules. Now we're on to step 4, where we let our players know how to win. And this is really important. We've got to make this section as clear and concise as possible. It could be an elimination or assassination mission where the warbands have to eliminate each other's designated leader to win, and the warband that takes out the opponent's designated leader would win first. So we make that really clear in this section, and I try to use bullet points that would say the attacker will win if they do this, and the defender will win if they do that. So in our example here, it tells us that the attacking team needs to pick up the treasure and carry it to touch any edge of the battlefield, and then the defending team needs to stop them. So nice and simple. Next, we define what the prize is and make sure the winner gets a prize. This can be the bonus token or a special item of gear from the search tables. It's really up to you. If you're playing a campaign, it's good to give extra items, I think, so that they can add that to their inventory and then use it in the next games. I think that's quite fun. It could even be real life things like sweets or chocolates, especially if you're doing an Easter skirmish. You could use actual small mini chocolate eggs and then they could win that many. So it's really up to you what the prize is. In our example, the winner receives 1 warrior token to spend at the merchants and also everlasting glory for being the first champion of Weekend Warriors. Now we're on to the final step, which is step 6, where we draw the battle map. And the battle map is an important part of the skirmish creation process. You can use the map to show deployment zones, objectives, even terrain layout and much more. And just like the rest of the process, it's good to keep it simple and only include the information that's necessary. And you can take a look at the maps included in the different quests and missions to get an idea of how it's done. But if you like drawing, you can make your maps a bit more detailed and elaborate as much as you like, especially for campaigns. If you're travelling across a part of your imaginary world, it's good to represent that as a map and then take that map and scale it down or up so that you can include a little battle map. So if you're using terrain as well, it'd be fun to do little drawings of what that terrain is. I think that'd be quite interesting. But with the rest of the process, keep it simple if you want to. I think that's the easiest way to go, and then everyone knows exactly where everything should go and what's going to be happening during the battle. So in our example here, we know where the attacker deploys, we know where the defender deploys, we've got the treasure, we know where to place that at the beginning of the battle, and we know the distance that deployment area covers. So it's 8 inches across. We can put our warriors anywhere within that deployment zone. And we also, with terrain, we know from our rules that the defender can place the terrain wherever they like. So that gives us everything we need, and that's the final step complete, so we can now do battle. This would be a good time to take a quick look at the battlefield, objectives and terrain. And let's start with the battlefield. And the battlefield, that's where your skirmish is going to take place. So we've drawn our battle map, and now we need to represent that map on the tabletop. So the battlefield could be a fancy game mat or board, or just an area that you mark out on your kitchen table or even in the garden. And your battlefield is going to have terrain, it's going to have those areas to deploy in and some other details. And this is all going to be laid out in those skirmish rules and the battle map. So the battlefield size that I recommend for Weekend Warriors is 36 by 24 inches or 3 foot by 2 foot, or you can use the popular 30 inch by 22 inch that you'll get with Warhammer games. So they're readily available, and a lot of people who play games already have those. So you can certainly use that size. But that is just a guide. You can use any size you like. You can even use a smaller 2 foot by 2 foot, or go big and go 3 foot by 3 foot. It's really up to you. If you're playing with 4 or less warriors per player, then 2 foot by 2 foot works really nicely. But once you start going up to like maybe 7 to 10, you might want to expand and play on a bigger board, going to 3 foot by 3 foot. And there's a deployment zone PDF that you can download for free, which lays out the different deployment zones and different types of deployment for both those sizes, those 36 by 24 and 24 by 24. So hopefully that will help you out. Now let's look at objectives. And objectives can be represented with tokens or items like chests, other miniatures, or even parts from other toys like Lego and things like that. And these are going to represent certain things your warriors have to collect or interact with to gain points and win the game. You can make your own, buy them from your favourite game creators, or use anything you have at home already that sparks your imagination. And now we're on to terrain, and terrain plays a big part in the game. You can use existing terrain pieces from other games to create your setting. If you don't have any, then you can use 2D drawings, craft some 3D terrain of your own using household junk, or even just use boxes and tins from your kitchen cupboard to represent different structures. And once you get playing, your imagination is going to take over, and a tin of baked beans soon becomes an industrial storage tank, and a box of cereal can easily take the place of a central control building that you need to dominate. The amount of terrain you use during a skirmish is up to you. Some maps and some campaigns will tell you exactly how many pieces and where to put them, but most of the time it's really up to you. And I think having lots of terrain pieces on the board is really fun to play with and helps give extra cover for you to maneuver around as well. So I think terrain plays a huge part, and yeah, it's really up to you just how much you use, but don't overthink it or try and be too fancy. You can use loads of different things for terrain, and it just becomes fun as soon as you start playing. There we go, that's everything you need to know to create or choose a skirmish. And I hope this video has helped you out and given you a good idea of how the game works. But if you want to find out more, then I've got some other videos on the channel which tell you how to create your warband and your individual warriors, and also a good read through and flick through of the whole book. So if you haven't purchased it yet, that's going to give you an idea about the book and hopefully help you decide whether or not it's something you'd like to add to your collection. If you like writing, then I've done a blog post that tells you how I come up with the ideas for the stories and how I put them together. And I'll be turning that into a video soon. But if you'd like to check that out, that's on my website, www.tabletopskirmishgames.com. Look out for more videos coming soon where we'll start going through the rules and I'll show you how it plays on the tabletop. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description and it'd be great to see you there.